for reckless stunts, and he was even named among a group of vloggers accused of endangering public safety. Still, his every new video seemed riskier than the last, and
And here I thought I saw it all. This is Governor Gavin Newsom's press office Twitter account. Governor Newsom is the governor of California. He is a grade A woke grifter, and in my personal opinion, he is probably right now the front runner for Democratic nominee for the presidential election in 2028. I know. How did we get here? Well, I'll explain it to you. It's because he's fighting back. His entire policy, anti-Trump, and it's working. So he starts tweeting bullshit, like in Trump-style tweets. I seldom watch low-rated garbage man Greg Gutfield, but when I do, I marvel at the fake laughter and the show. It sounds like a bad laugh machine. It's so obnoxious and disgusting. Just like him, always laughing, no matter what it said. Real patriots hate it when Fox edits the tapes. Put garbage man Greg on. Fox ought to get smart and not use losers like this. Also, they shouldn't allow negative ads about me. Thank you, Governor Gavin Newsom. Now, personally, I think it's hilarious that the entire left strategy right now that actually is having any impact is literally just a copy of Trump. Their policies are terrible. Their vision for the country is terrible. They're living in anti-realism, fake world bullshit, pushing radical, extreme, feminist, socialist, communist, retardist ideologies at any given point in time that they literally had to become anti-Trump, dark, woke, zero-substance clowns in order to reclaim their party. Even people in the comment sections are starting to notice something weird is going on with Governor Gavin Newsom. You copy Trump because you want to be Trump, but you're missing the point. Be yourself. This is weird. Bro, it's 1 a.m. Log out. You have a long day ahead. What's going on? This account is super creepy because realistically, this is an entire account just tweeting Trump shit constantly, posting memes and like Wojaks and shit. They are trying so hard to be cool and hip and epic, and you know what? It's kind of working. He's the front runner right now in the polls, and you know what he did to get here? Absolutely nothing. Not one good policy, not one good idea, not one positive actual impact to anything he did at all. All he actually started doing is becoming viciously anti-Trump. The entire identity of the Democrats right now is anti-Trump, and it's hilarious. Now, I want to point out that when I say that the entire identity is anti-Trump right now, I mean it. Because they have not changed a thing or learned a single lesson from open border policies that have been going on. This happened today, unfortunately. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed that ICE is seriously considering immigration enforcement at truckway stations across America. This would be a W. Again, I think we need to roll out more ICE. I get canceled every 2 days. Sucks, I can't believe you don't care about the families getting deported. They should have deported themselves. Okay, they're illegal in the country, get the fuck out. I've been super consistent, mega consistent about this. You're illegal in the country, get out. More ICE sounds great. Even more ICE, even better. ICE everywhere, good. Your employee is an illegal immigrant that you want to fire, call ICE. That's true. You shouldn't be hiring illegal immigrants. This follows a criminal alien truck driver killing 3 Americans in Florida when he executed an illegal U-turn. Harjinder Singh entered the country illegally and was handed a commercial driver's license from California. Wow. He's being charged with manslaughter after killing 3 American citizens. Homeland Security spokesperson tells me ICE equipment at truck stops and way stations are on the table. Capturing no means keeping all enforcement on safe. This is how it happened. 3 innocent people were killed in Florida because Gavin Newsom, California DMV, issued an illegal alien a commercial driver's license. The state of California is asinine. Many more innocent people have to die before Gavin Newsom stops playing games with the safety of the American public. We pray for the victims and their families. According to trucking industry insiders, illegal aliens are rampant in a profession that, let me remind you, is really difficult for American citizens to get. But illegal immigrants, illegal aliens, invaders of our country, are really having a job, even when they are so unqualified that they make it illegal and kill 3 Americans. Now, again, I will be getting more into this in just a little bit. So here he is. He does the legal U-turn and oopsie poopsie people. And look how awkward that is. Look at that. Oh, what an awkward little guy. You just kind of see he's pissed about it. He's pissed about it. He's not even mad he killed 3 people. He's like, oh, fuck. Oh, shit. There we go again. Oh, my God. And that's disgusting. All right. Gavin Newsom tweeting a Trump-style tweet in order to make it look like he's contributing to the world. Dana Ding Dong Perino, never heard of her until today, is melting down because of me, Gavin C. Newsom. Vox hates that I am America's most favorite governor, ratings king, saving America. He's doing nothing. He's doing nothing. That's the funniest part. Like, I've been trying to figure out what he's doing that's getting him this praise, and it's literally nothing. He's not even doing anything. Well, I mean, except for giving driver's license. I think the blood of these people are in the hands of fucking trash at the government that is giving them licenses that they can drive, and people that the sign. We're gonna get to this later. They don't even speak English. They can't read the sign on the street. Uncovered later. So we will get there in just a couple of minutes. But I have to show you the crazy psyop that's going on in Gavin Newsom, because it's not just the libtard freaks that are supporting Gavin Newsom. Again, they're retarded. Alright, my opinion is, if you are a far left person, you are a retard or a terrorist. Alright, it is, or you're a woman with a nose ring on TikTok. Alright, it is one of those three options. There are no other options. And if you are a retard, terrorist, woman on TikTok with a nose ring, then Gavin Newsom is the person for you. Now, what surprised me is when it turns out other audience are on Gavin Newsom's side. Young Putin, alright. Profile picture, constantly tweeting about J.D. Vance and stuff, because Nick Winters is too argued that he doesn't like J.D. Vance. So, because, you know, Trump is like Israel has Jews, and he hates Jews. So that's kind of how it comes together. I've done a video on Nick Winters in the past if you want to see. Now, to be honest, I don't hate Nick Winters. I know a lot of people think that I hate him, just because, well, I am Jewish and he wants to kill Jews, like he said many times. I don't hate Nick Winters. I respect his authenticity, even though I think he's a retard. He's not a racist. He might be a retard, but I don't think he's a racist. So, Gavin Newsom for Gavin over here, looking sexy, and J.D. Vance over here in a really awkward picture. What a nerd! What a nerd! Since them in high school. Now, to be honest, I'll be real. Just my perspective, obviously you have every right to disagree. This is like the quintessential high school dude. Alright? This dude is just, he's reading a paper, trying to look sexy, and he's probably an asshole. This is the picture that assholes take of themselves. Alright? Like, this is like Drake and Josh, where J.D. Vance is Josh, and the asshole is Drake, is Gavin Newsom. And this is just a random vote for or anything. Ironically, we're having a good time. Again, I'm not a big fan of the guys do these days. They're like, oh, you look sexy, which means he's awesome, or something like that. But then again, obviously Nick Winters is into this because he's gay. He streamed gay porn by accident several times, and, you know, he was hacked by the Israeli intelligence community. Put gay porn on his stream. Unlikely. Unlikely if you ask me. But hey, listen, this is Nick Winters doing Nick Winters things. Alright, now, you see, this side-by-side over here, you have the Chad, Gavin Newsom, and the Virgin, J.D. Vance, in high school. Now, let's not forget that when it comes to value, this was one of the funniest lines ever said on the Yeah, he slept with his wife. No one likes to remember that. That was something. Yeah. Anyway, let's not talk about that. And they kept cooking him. You can't trust him with his friend's wife. How can you trust him with a steak? And here they kept cooking him because, you know, LA is kind of a shithole right now. San Francisco is kind of a shithole. Homeless people everywhere on the streets, drugs everywhere, shit everywhere. So anyway,
this is a map of San Francisco.
This is the governor of Florida talking about what's going on in San Francisco.
There's a lot of plots on that. What is
that?
This is an app where they plot the human feces that are found on the streets of San Francisco. You see is covered because that is what is happening in one of the previous greatest cities in the country. Human feces is now a fact of life, except
this is the twist. Not that you can't clean the city. Suspiciously, the city was spotless because, you know, they have to show respect to their communist masters.
Then they cleaned up the streets. They lined the streets with Chinese flags. They didn't put American flags there.
They hate
everything
America.
up. So
what do you
mean?
mean?
Dictator. They're not willing to do it for their own country.
I mean, this is just one example of millions. They weren't putting out fires. They had more genders in California than working fire hydrants to put out fires. They had protests in LA burning cop cars and shit like that. Dude, it's a nightmare. It's an actual fucking nightmare in California. It's hell. And Gavin Newsom is of course, said your favorite terrorist retard, TikTok nose ring. They don't love Gavin Newsom. That he is embodying the Trump. Suspiciously enough, Gavin Newsom retweets, I missed that scarf, retweeting a groiper. White supremacist. Unbelievable. Far right and far left are identical right now. This is diabolical. Now, again, I consider myself chaotic neutral, even though I'm definitely a lot more on the right. In, like, basically every issue, from social to, you know, basically having borders. Like, Gavin wants every illegal immigrant to be in the country. Now, interestingly enough is, the quote tweet was crazy. Gavin Newsom versus J.D. Vance after high school graduation. Coked out douche losers. Someone who actually went to the Marines. Yeah, and you can be like, oh, well, his face is chubby. That's like the big argument. You'll see. We're gonna show you some people saying, oh, he was chubby. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. This says everything. This says fucking everything about his character, in my opinion. Now, Gavin is dead. Personal attorney for the Gavin Newsom. In now. JD. College. These guys are incomparable. I completely agree. Again, I like JD Vance personally. I don't have anything against him. I think he's pretty good. But like, how could you possibly compare him to gruesome Newsom, Gavin Newsom? Dude is a nightmare. Nepo baby nightmare. Unbelievable. JD Vance made something of himself. No, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Let's just say I like Gavin Newsom. I hate Gavin Newsom more than I like JD Vance. Okay, like I don't know Vance have like some sort of in-depth opinion about the guy. So far I think he's doing well. Every time I hear him speak, I'm impressed. And then you get Gavin Newsom over there. Like, and then Trump won by a wide margin. He's like, oh, actually, I don't know about women's bathrooms. Maybe that's going too far. Yeah, absolute drifting shitbag. It's unreal. So again, I don't judge Gavin Newsom on his sexy scarf. You know what I do judge him on? I judge him on the fact that his state is a wasteland, hellhole, shit pile. That is what I judge Gavin Newsom on. Absolutely. Bro, this dude is trying to become the president in 2028. It is unreal. And he's turning his entire state a glorious, or a glorious state into actual shit pile. Literally, and I'm not exaggerating. Riddled capital cities of any country in the world, including third world shitholes everywhere. Washington, D.C. was more dangerous for violent crime by more than double than the second place. I've covered this in previous videos, I'm not going to do it again. And of course, you know, Gavin Newsom said when Trump did that. Gavin Newsom said, he's a dictator, he's a fascist, he's sending in the military to clean up the streets, he's sending in the military. Anyway, crime is down. Over the last 4 days, there were basically no crimes because he actually activated the military, he activated the police force, told them to actually arrest the criminals instead of what the Democrats like doing, which is fully arrest the criminals if they're white and don't pay taxes. Or, you know, pay taxes, but if they're white, or if they're black, but then they let them go half the time. Toss up a coin, depending on how woke the judge is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna get canceled for this. I don't care. Anyway, the point is, I actually believe in law and order, so this shit's a nightmare. So anyway, this is Nick Fuentes. Alright, Nick Fuentes is a right-wing guy. He's anti-immigration. He is anti-communism. He is anti-socialism. He's pro-capitalism. But he hates Jews, and Trump likes Jews. So, there's a reason why, suspiciously, there's a reason why all of a sudden Gavin Newsom is getting some fame, getting some glory, some headlines, because he's tweeting like Trump, he's doing the Trump tweet thing. Yeah, he just had a... whatever. Nick Fuentes started... Right? He's talking about diversity. He's doing all the things that he hates. He wants a white... That's what he preaches, okay?
And prosper together across every conceivable and imaginable good. But the thing we pride ourselves most on is that we believe the future.
If you don't like Gavin Newsom, you're kind of like gay. I just don't know what to tell you. Like,
yeah, this is projection. Nick Fuentes is gay. Nick Fuentes is rooting for Gavin Newsom because he's sexually attracted to him. That's my opinion. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's so sad because everyone was calling Nick Fuentes a Fed earlier. I defended him. I said I don't think he's a Fed. Like, but now he's the number one frontrunner against the Republicans. What's going on? Why do you need fiction when reality is literally so much better?
if you look at a handsome, sociopathic, tall, white man who like clearly has contempt for like those around him, and you don't like him because he's a Democrat, crap. Like, there's something wrong with you. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I don't dislike him because he's a Democrat. I dislike him because he's a fake, grifting fuck that doesn't stand on any of his values, that has closed down the borders, that has given infinite asylum to illegal immigrants. The state is giving out driver's licenses to illegal people in the country that can't even drive or read English. The fact that he is not helping his own state, cleaning streets, down criminals, arresting people that should be arrested. I care because I think it's pretty bad for character to go out there, cheat on your wife, to go out there everywhere possible. He tried to suck up everyone. He the California fires was going on, and he was sitting on his ass with 0 working fire hydrants because he was scared to kill the smelt fish, a type of fish that he lived in California. He didn't want to reroute water to stop his own people from burning alive because he was afraid of killing the smelt fish. This is a sociopath retard that I have no respect for. Yeah, if you like Gavin Newsom, you're either ideologically captured as an anti-Trump or you're just a regular.
But he's not a
It probably was
He may be
right.
tall, white, and having with a beautiful white family and rich. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Or gay? And
the right thing.
you know, people say they're like white nationalists, and then they look at a like successful white guy, and they're like, but he's a Democrat. Like, okay, so you're the worst white nationalist ever. You're the worst white nationalist ever.
Yeah, yikes. Again, personally, I don't judge people based on who they fuck as much as I base someone based on the actual content of their character. Also, based on who they fuck. If you fuck his friend's wife. Like, dude, 0 redeeming features in my opinion. I think you can be a shitty guy no matter what nationality or race you're from. Sorry to say it, if this offends you, this is absolutely insane. He is wearing a clip of Gavin Newsom talking about multiculturalism, and he's like, basically, as a white family, we support Gavin Newsom. Holy fucking shit, this is clown world. I'm not going to probably show you the entire clip. Him comparing Gavin Newsom to white family. Brown family. White family. I don't want to say literally devil because I actually have a lot more personally. I have a lot more faith. But anyway, what is absolutely diabolical is the fact that everyone is trying to now watch Gavin. This is happening. That have killed white Americans. He is woke. He is, yeah, true.
He is a left-wing socialist.
True. I don't know about Muslim, but he is a left-wing socialist.
Radical Muslim socialist like Barack Obama. But you know,
But what's the difference between Obama and Newsom? Newsom is more woke than Obama. Obama actually deported a metric fuck ton of people. Obama deported more people than Trump. So Newsom is way more left, open borders than Obama. Oh, white and Obama's left. There, okay. I figured it out, guys. Give me a second. I figured it out.
that, we could just make some observations. He's white. He's tall. He's also white. She's tall. She's white.
I just have to said that Gavin was not beating the game. No!
Beautiful, and they're all white.
Bro!
With blue eyes and blonde hair. And they're in California.
Wonderful shit.
Maybe this is Hawaii? I don't know. But they're in a beautiful state, our beautiful land. Their beautiful
True.
blood and our beautiful land in America. If only there was some way to combine those things.
Oh my god.
They're beautiful.
And okay, listen man, I'm not trying to appeal to the to the Nick Fuentes archetype here, Steve. But dude, he is diluting the white blood in the land. He is like the super pro-immigration anti-immigration. It's so crazy. It is so diabolical to watch this unfold in real time. It's absolutely insane.
Genetics.
What is happening?
Look at these beautiful genes.
Dude, he is
And look at our beautiful land. All for us.
and multiculturalism, and anyone that wants to hop over the Mexican border.
Beautiful virgin soil separated from the world by 2 oceans that we control, and those beautiful genes that conquered and tamed it. It's really as
I'm gonna hit you with a massive twist that I don't think Nick Fuentes knows about. Gavin Newsom's wife and all of his children are Jewish. So get ready over the next couple of days, couple of weeks. Everything is gonna turn around. All right, just say it right now. A lot of people don't know this. In fact, I'm not sure. I think this is true. That she the beautiful team that came to land, not really super rich. But hey, don't they look white? So shut up. It doesn't matter.
Behold, this is now here's the other image. This is our fearless leader, the entity known as J.D. Vance. The entity known as J.D. Hamill since the last operating system update is now J.D. Vance. This is his family. Now let's make some observations here.
All right, what do we have to say?
So this is our fearless leader, the entity known as J.D. Vance.
Right, there he is.
He's
Oh my God!
okay. He's
Oh my God!
He's got that face.
But I Anyway, he keeps going about this for a while. This is the level of political analysis that I expect. Something I'd love to see. And even his own people, the Groypers, right? This is his community, and he's like, did everyone forget about the Gavin LA fire debacle or what? Everyone's so confused. Everyone's like so confused. They don't even know what to say. But don't worry, guys, because Gavin Newsom's wife, Jennifer Siebel Newsom, first partner of California. He doesn't even call her a wife. He's so woke he doesn't call his wife his wife. He says it's his partner. First partner, not first lady. First partner. Bro, this is actual anti-family reason. Like your classic, fucking classic. Now, this is absolutely diabolical. Gavin Newsom now white, and kids are Jewish, white, so therefore he appreciates them, and this is the psyop that's going on right now. This is getting lots of views, so these are more of his Groyper people. Gavin Newsom is Catholic, and J.D. Vance is Jewish. Actually, J.D. Vance is Catholic. When he visited Israel, he went to the holiest site in Israel to show respect. This is not a conversion to Judaism. I don't know if anyone knows the rules. Also, in case you were unaware, this is the Pope, the most Catholic guy ever, also going to the wall. The wall is literally a fragment of the temple. So it's honestly pray to God. By the way, it's everywhere. I don't know what they teach in Nick Fuentes school, but God is kind of everywhere. So you go, you pray at the wall, to show respect, to pray to God. Why not? Nothing wrong with that. And Gavin Newsom, this is it. Also went to the wall. So this is kind of third-hand contact with the wall. Now, the irony is, Gavin Newsom's children are literally Jewish. Gavin Newsom's wife is literally Jewish. So, like, they're making this whole argument that, well, Vance is Jewish, so we can't trust him because he touched the wall, but Newsom, we can trust him. And also, stuff like that. Like, I literally, I don't even know what they're doing. I don't even know if they know what they're doing. It's diabolical. Guys, isn't Newsom so based? Americans just yesterday. Breaking news. And this is literally the psyop is obviously the guy, that same guy that's obviously the Democrats were to H-1B, they would be to the right of Trump on the issue, right? Talking about how H-1B visas, those are basically people, skilled people that are imported from other countries to get special visas to work here. And he's saying that if Democrats were to come out against H-1Bs, they would be on the right of Trump. Vance is against H-1Bs. They're literally promoting the opposition to what they're fighting for because his wife is white. These people are retarded. These people are like actually retarded. Now, if you want to know more, instead of just there are 613 commandments in the Bible. Okay, moral commandments. It never. Again, if you want to marry someone, I have respect for you. Proud of your heritage, your all that, 100%. But to demonize people because they did something that is by every single moral system correct, I think is insane. Honestly, a little bit satanic. It really is. To try to make a mountain out of a molehill like this and destroy somebody is absolutely insane. I think what's much more important is if you share values with somebody, you share a religion with somebody, you share your values with somebody. That is so much more however, I do think that absolutely insane. Ron DeSantis says he should have never been in our country in the first place. Talking about this person who killed people. Blood is on the hands of everyone's favorite government. Holy crap, says the new TikTok. The illegal alien truck driver that killed 3 people failed the English language assessment, getting only 2 of the 12 answers right, and identifying only 1 out of 4 highway traffic signs. It was also discovered that UA and CA should sing a commercial over backwards to create state invaders. You have to realize what's going on. Who got into the country illegally. He's not allowed to be in the country. He got in. He got a license. He got a license for commercial use from the actual California government. Gave it to him personally, despite the fact that he failed everything. He was pulled over for speeding. They saw that he doesn't have an American license. He does not have the eligibility to actually be in the country, let alone driving our trucks on our roads. And they let him off the hook because you look like a racist if you arrest an illegal immigrant. People are the enemy of America. This dude goes out until so
if the first thing that you think of is it's the Jews with their weather machines again, you need to go way down. You've got to go way down. Go way down until you can get that under control. Whenever...
No lies detected. No lies detected. If it's your first thought every time, that's great. And realistically, the fact that, you get every single person on the planet saying, oh, let's go for Newsom because, well, obviously the Jews control Trump. So we gotta go for Newsom. That is exactly right. Analogy. Now, what's so crazy is, poor Gavin Newsom cards on the right of the reason. Everyone center and right of the broad retard bitch. They're all like, so
is getting so scared. Ultra left Reddit is starting to sound like the MAGA.
Correct. Realistically, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. In a timeline where I think Trump by a landslide, let me remind you, all 7 weeks, the entire map, red or Republican. The reason why my margin is because he actually and other they really are. They're gay-theist retards. The ultimate combo. Yes, men can be women, women can be men, and men can have multiple genders, and women can have multiple genders. And they're also more than just 2 genders, and they can all sit together and compete together and be in prison together and have sports together and go to the bathroom together. It's all good transgender for everyone. All right, like, dude, when you are literally studying the waters of like basic humanity and reality and biology, just to push a fucking satanic pedophile agenda, what's fucking going on in the government? I don't know, bro. I don't know. When it's like, dude, it's like, wow, he really came up with that. I'm like, no, did he? Totally like by everyone forever, you know? Now, the irony here is the only people supporting Gavin Newsom right now are the people on the far right, because obviously Trump is controlled by the Jews, and the people on the far left, well, because obviously Trump is controlled by the Jews and bad, and therefore, well, Gavin Newsom's anti-Trump vocally, so we like him now, because zero thought required.
As over in Florida, the trucker takes an illegal left turn on the highway, causing a fatal collision. The New York Post revealing the crash individual guesses of the performance in
yeah, that's an enemy of the people. It's treason. It's fucking treason. You're taking illegal people, invading our country, and giving them the ability to live, get employed, to drive, to endanger the lives of our people. Fuck this shit. Like, I'm telling you, these are the enemies of our country. These are the enemies of the people.
Operating a 40-ton, 18-wheel truck, as he should have been sent home, but remained because he was afraid to be taken. The more we know about this tragedy, reports it remains. The simple fact that this was completed is compounded by the idea that this tissue is terrible or even putting people in danger in considerable states like Florida. It's interesting how only local outlets say seems to highlight this
if you are allowed to turn the narrative that actually having people illegal in our country is a good thing. Yeah, this is a very, very unfortunate reality blast for you.
Only local outlets and right-leaning media seems to highlight this horrible story, but even places like super left Reddit is having discussions about this, attempting to be objective, with the top comment from r/truckers being about someone experiencing the same exact thing.
The leftists are getting fatigued, aren't they? Interesting. I thought the fatigue of the right wing problem turns out to say everyone's problem. Because your country is becoming a shithole. Yeah. That's fourth third world becomes third world. Listen, it's
friends. Conversation about how that specific country has and how they have 1% of the world's vehicles, but 10% of its deaths.
Yeah, in my opinion, that's because, again, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Not all cultures are the same. This is going to shock a lot of people to hear, but not all cultures are the same. When you import a lot of people from Somalia, all right, and it turns out that, surprisingly, rape was not illegal in Somalia until 2018. Perhaps it's a culture that is more conducive to commit specific crimes than other cultures. Because, well, their parents didn't think them was bad. In fact, they didn't even think it was bad. So they probably still don't think it's bad. They're probably right-wing sitting there being like, all those wokies want us to stop raping our women. Dog, I shit you not. When you import people with a set of values that is so drastically different than your own, shit might happen. It's super obvious to anyone that wants to think about it for more than a second, but you don't want to get canceled out. You want to always say the right thing. I always say the right thing. All cultures are equal. They're all the same. None are better than others. Import all the illegals. There are people just like me and you. Land acknowledgement. I am on stolen land. Like the virtue signaling.
Seems like a
or accidentally tell the truth. And again, this proves absolutely nothing about foreign truckers as a whole. But why is it so difficult to have this discussion in the first place?
Because they label you as a bad guy, they label you as a racist. And again, this is the Gavin Newsom policy. The shut down and shut up, right? They ban you everywhere, they censor you everywhere, they censor the conversation. Every time you engage in normal conversations, they will immediately blast you and flame you as some ultra bigot, super bigot. The flaggets come out of everywhere, right? The people flag you. Right, so the flaggets come out of everywhere. And then you start talking. Oh, you're transphobic, so you're automatically bad. People you are a Nazi bigot. You are, and it's not working out. The conversations are becoming more open because
the second most avoided comment to being found out is the same thing happening. Giving the service someone sharing that
fatigue.
same race, having the same feelings.
Hear me out, hang on, hear me out. Are people actually different? Are people that grew up in different cultures, different sets of values, are they different than one another, actually? And not everyone is the same, this giant melting pot hodgepodge. Pretty weird.
Because they make them all look bad. And as somebody from an ethnicity also known for being notoriously bad drivers, I understand where he's coming from. Most of us don't see this story. We see the others. We just want to know how someone that doesn't understand the basics of traffic rules is allowed to get a driver's license.
But if they're illegal in the country, okay. It's crazy. Like they should be overregulated in everything. That's right. You know what I am telling you to do? Racially profile people. We gotta bring back racial profiling. I've gotten way too base lately. But racial profiling is in fact base, I've decided. Alright? I've changed. I'm gonna get murdered. Whatever, who cares? Let them come for me. Racial profiling is actually base. That's the new meme.
And be given an 18-wheeler. So in the future, we can prevent this same thing from occurring again. No one is suggesting racism as a solution, but they'll always use the potential of that to the real criticism of a broken system. As the next topic of the credits was him researching his drive, as he shares the same thing as the guy from years ago used his truck to collapse.
Oh, no! They just looked at the name of a bad driver and they got his cousin. Who on earth did this shit?
Who also was
Listen, man, if I go into a bank and my banker is named Sheckelberg, I know shit's about to get good, okay?
connected to a California-based trucking company. But the extra replies found that it's a common name, and oddly, very common in the trucking industry. Now, no one is accused.
No shot that specifically people that are coming from a place that has 10 times the amount of car accidents in most countries, they have a single trucking industry in America!
One of those guys has been bad drivers.
Or only 10 times more likely. They're not those.
This inconvenient information media outlets have big stories as it's supposed to be about
I'm not gonna report on the Indian that into driving. It might make people in. Oh, no, I like it. We're nice people. But realistically, life exists.
not allowed to come to certain conclusions. As shockingly, there are huge amounts of American truck drivers that do not speak English.
Both of these trucks right here, neither of those drivers go to the warehouse here on ask where you check it out. They don't understand either. It's a real life example of it. I deal with this almost every single day.
Holy shit! Most truck drivers don't speak English. And then it's like, oh, me. Well, that's just the economy. But reporting illegals, that won't help. Oh my god.
Directing the Department of Transportation to include English literacy tests for our truckers. This is a big problem in the trucking community that
We should not be having people working for our country, okay, that don't speak the language, that are driving, that are reading signs, street signs, that don't speak the language. Like, what are we doing?
that community might not know.
Now in Alabama, they just started to issue tickets to truckers that can't speak English. But how will that citation stop them from driving dangerously, or at the very least, can they comprehend what they're being ticketed for? How do we get so bad that people that don't know how to read street signs are allowed to get behind the wheel of progressive values.
We need more bartenders and fire hydrants. That's how it works.
Department of Homeland Security actually putting California Governor Newsom solely to blame. And since that post, what has Newsom done?
Dude, why does he always look like he's crying? Okay? Wait, is this guy supposed to be some sort of epic leader because he's rich and white? Like, what are we doing? Like, dude, this dude is he's a bitch. He's a huge bitch.
Complained about Donald Trump, then complained about Donald Trump again, and then replying to a post comparing him to like which just highlights how James Vance is every man compared to an entitled that is
like if they were, we would be living in fucking but as but like don't use him over Vance if you're like a right-wing guy is actually retarded. Like actually certifiable retarded. Bro, you can't hate the Jews more than you like your own people, okay? If you want to hate the Jews, that's your God-given right as an American. Alright, listen. But for the love of God, don't hate Jews more than you love America, okay, please? Alright? Common ground here, okay? Listen. Come on, lizards, let's work.
can't even read and government seems more focused on reminiscing on his rich boy roots and desire systems and actually prosecute, as we just uncovered how absolutely every American that drives on highways is in danger with a California's negligence. And the person that should fix this is to preoccupy an original campaign for president.
It's just anti-Trump. It's just anti-Trump. They've learned nothing. They've learned fucking nothing. It's unbelievable.
And what makes this worse is you likely only know about this situation from social media or a low-budget news meme commentary account called Decoy.
You might have only heard of this from a blue retard animated-looking motherfucker on the internet. You might not have even heard about this shit.
Voice, as I don't like covering these tragic events to try to plug some friend about them
right.
When you know the media.
That's right. Sad, but he's so right. Definitely, you should also. Let's do it. He's in on the internet. Don't think I think you're being Alex. We're all friends here, all right? But you're waiting for justice, okay? And I will make enemies with anybody, as you can tell. And if you disagree with all of my takes, it's super fine, okay? You have no reason to agree with anything that I say. You have no reason to hold the same beliefs as I do. Everyone's different, and honestly, that's why God made us this way. If God wanted to make homunculus clones, that's what he would have done. He created a lot of different people to figure shit out together, and that's what I'm trying to do. So thanks for being here. I do appreciate all y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Please subscribe, and this video is free. Nuts and Oars. Stay weird, man.
Story tonight, which is Albert Einstein from Germany and Elon Musk from hell. Specifically, we're going to talk about immigration enforcement. Over the last few months, you've undoubtedly seen reports of armed, masked police raiding areas like farms, parks and Home Depots. The White House's social media has been cheering it on, from posts like this meme showing DEI standing for Deport Every Illegal to this shit. Which is imaginable. Friend! I now know what's Trump's funeral. I know what's the White House. Others have been getting in on this shit posting, with perhaps the most telling example coming from a regional border patrol office, which posted this celebration of its agents in Southern California's premier sector. On a first Bumble date. Have you ever seen Star Wars? Basically, bad guy. Imagine how long bankrupt capitalism famous film in cinematic history. Murdering a bunch of people, some of them are legally bankrupt. He is so awesome. But all the investigations
ice cream in the area for almost 20 years. He was a part of community events, and neighbors insist not a threat.
I just don't understand it. Like, go after a criminal, don't go after the ice cream man.
Many can't believe how he was taken, they say, by unidentified men in unmarked SUVs.
Doesn't seem legal to me at all. I would think that you'd have to have paperwork and,
So given that, tonight, let's talk about immigration enforcement and try and answer a few things. What the fuck is happening right now? Who are the people in masks grabbing our neighbours off the streets, and what are the actual rules here? Let's start with what's happening, because as we've discussed before, immigration authorities have been given pretty clear marching orders by this fucking guy.
We are looking to set a goal of a minimum of 3,000 arrests for ICE every day. So the next American daughter can get the next American kid, the next American people that came into this country unchecked, uncontrolled, unvetted,
It would be hard to hear from anyone. A day number. It's part of the administration's larger goal of deporting 1 million immigrants in 1 year, which, it's worth noting, would be more than double the previous record of 400,000 when Obama was president, which was already very high. But notably, they don't seem to be getting near their target numbers. There are apparently just over 280,000 deportations, so getting to 1 million in just 6 months seems very unlikely. And they have backed themselves into this corner, because promising to deport 1 million criminal migrants is one thing, but once you're in charge, you have to find that many of them, which is going to be hard if they don't exist in the numbers. Either you have to bring your target number in the first place, your definition of what a friend is, and to eventually arrest the But instead of conceding their numbers were inflated, the administration is trying to drive up arrests at all costs. Not only has Miller told ICE agents to target Home Depots and 7-Elevens, he's giving them a lot of extra help. ICE has rapidly deputised a record number of local police to function as deportation agents. They pulled in Border Patrol as well as the National Guard, at least 25% of the DEA, up to 80% of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobaccos and Firearms, and even members of the US Postal Inspection Service. Colorado. The mail. For instance, agents will be told to scale up immigration enforcement and deprioritise white-collar cases. And even within ICE, their Homeland Security Investigations Unit, which usually focuses on major offences like cybercrime and drug trafficking, has been redeployed onto lower-level immigration cases. One agent there has even complained, no drug cases, no human trafficking, no child exploitation. It's infuriating. And I've got to say, for a guy who pandered so heavily to people convinced pedophiles, sex offenders and traffickers had infiltrated our government, so I'm sure many in the government are not crazy. Elon Musk works in a to sell that. Standards advise to increase physical safety. I think he's willing to have MAGA. I wouldn't let you know what can't come back. This is like calling our competition system. For those who are 7 days, 7 days are criminal. 30%. The other 30% are national security threats. Most national security threats don't have a criminal history. They try to lay low until it's time for them to do things bad. Okay. Speaking things bad aside, Hogan is getting a lot wrong there, because under his logic, I guess anyone can be a national security threat, even, for instance, your local ice cream man. Sure, the worst thing he's ever done was maybe give someone one of those SpongeBob popsicles a la Dali, but don't be fooled. The baseball umpire, he's probably going low till it's time for him to do. But also, ICE's own data. Arrested by ICE had any criminal convictions, which can include things like traffic infractions, and just 7% were convicted of any sort of violent crime. In fact, as of the end of June, people with only civil immigration violations, no criminal charges or convictions, made up the largest percentage on ICE arrests nationwide. And maybe the clearest sign that this is more about pushing up numbers than catching violent criminals on the run is that one of the key places they're now fishing for arrests is immigration courts, when people show up for their hearings.
agents were waiting to take them into custody. ICE is asking immigration judges across the country to dismiss the court cases of certain migrants so the agency can arrest them once their hearings end and place them in a fast-track deportation process known as expedited removal. Outside of Miami courthouse, this migrant in cuffs says in Spanish, it's a trap.
Look, that is all very much in expedited removal. More of the agency with expedited for the fact that it's particularly powerful. And to be clear about but if your case is dismissed and you've been here for less than 2 years, the government can move to put you through expedited removal, meaning you can be deported without any hearing at all. So, administration attorneys are asking for cases to be dismissed, and immigration judges, all of whom work for the DOJ, have been told to grant those requests. It is the laziest possible way to juice up your numbers because you're targeting people who are going through the system the right way and turning them into people that you can immediately arrest and deport. The government is also working to and give them permission to live and work here to use those protections and become
looking for, and we have repeated operations, operational sheets at every arrest. You say, here's I'm going to go arrest, here's where I think I'm going to find him, here's his immigration history, here's his criminal history. We're not going out the street looking people different. That's a target enforcement operation.
Well, that's reassuring. I'm glad that Homer's not just arresting people different from him, because that'd be bad news for anyone who doesn't sound like John C. Reilly being actively drowned. Unfortunately, is when it comes to it's probably worth pursuing, which in and of itself it really isn't. Suggesting encountered while looking for something. When he did a ride looking for an
on his way to a work site.
This guy's been eyeballing since he pulled up, so just trying to figure out what's going on with him.
He was arrested, also without a prior criminal record, and now sits in a holding facility in New Orleans.
Yeah, that is absurd for many reasons, including that eyeballing should never be a pretext for arrest, unless that is you're a tarsier, nocturnal Asian primate. So clearly, near as hot. The thing is, it doesn't have to. In a minute, you talk about people they don't need criminal judges. Which will be signed off by to go to someone's home. They don't have to tell you that. You can also just stop and question people on the street. And I tell you, they don't need other justification.
They just need the totality of the circumstances. They just have to get out to get our typical on the location. Agents are need to detain somebody temporarily and question them. It's not probable cause, it's reasonable suspicion.
Okay, setting aside that stumbling over the word articulable is objectively very funny. Reasonable suspicion is a low bar. I have reasonable suspicion to believe that Tom Homan was doing that interview on about 12 Tylenol PMs, but that is different from me having proof, isn't it? And I should note, the administration of on their language, occupation, or present identification is unclear if that was allowed. But other people that should feel like they're breaking the law. Taking dystopian agents, no federal law forbids federal law enforcement personnel from do it. But why? For their own protection, arguing early last month there'd been a 690% increase in assault on agents from the year before, which does sound alarming, although you should know first, it turns out that meant there'd been a total of 79 assaults at that point, up from 10 the previous year. But also, they seem to be applying the word assault very loosely. Here's Christy Noe defining what she sees as violence against federal agents in extremely broad terms.
I will tell you that violence is anything that threatens them and their safety. So it is that. Encouraging other people rocks.
Wow, that is quite an escalation. From videotaping to Molotov cocktail. Those aren't remotely the same thing. I know that because one of those things is happening to me right now. And we've seen that standard in action. In June, when New York City mayoral candidate Brad Lander locked arms with an immigrant in a courthouse as ICE agents tried to detain him, he was arrested for impeding and assaulting officers, which sure isn't what he's looking for. All I tell you to see in the everyone lets especially in states one law professor will tell you somebody can get shot or killed, and it may well be an officer. And I'm hesitant to even point that out. Since enough for this bird's nest of abuse. And it sure seems like all this trying to hit numbers to the removal of safeguards is a perfect storm for trouble. Perhaps best encapsulated by the sheer number of videos out there of US citizens being detained or in some cases even arrested by federal agents.
Witnesses capturing a traffic stop involving ICE and Border Patrol agents on Brown Street in Rochester Tuesday. What's your name?
My name is Jose Castro. I'm a citizen.
I said, brother, I'm American. I'm American.
Asked him what's
I didn't know. He threw me to the gate and he told me and I got right to tell
While this is why is the most important thing, until I was 30. But it's also pretty difficult to hear Tom Homan say people aren't targeted based on their race when you see an officer tell an American citizen who happens to be a Spanish-speaking brown guy on his way to a landscaping job, say, "You got no rights here, you're an illegal." That feels like the most naked racism you could possibly see on camera, at least until Stephen Miller starts an OnlyFans. And if you want
The 37-year-old U.S. citizen tackled and taken into custody.
You want to go to jail? Fine. You got it.
He says he was first taken to a holding area at Dodger Stadium, where he heard the agents boasting about how many people they had grabbed.
Like, how many bodies did you guys catch today? And one of us at 31, and they started like, yay, like, it was a good day today, and they were like high-fiving each other.
He says the officers also debated about what they could do.
Because the
that incident, and I should say, the contact with the assaulted and verbally harassed a Border Patrol agent. One of which is in crime, and neither of which they've charged. Also, he wanted to ignored most of them. Asked about the Star Vader video, they said, not just Star Wars, but in Star Wars that no. I think DHS needs to regale the of Skywalker, which is just an incredible, deeply shitty I don't even love to know their disinterest on other villains. Actually, if you think about it, Thanos was the real hero of the Avengers movie, but if anyone if I know, Thanos is the Avengers, and Avengers aren't evil. And all this got even more massive surge of funding in roughly 170 billion over the next few years, some of which has been set aside to fund the hiring of 10,000 more ICE agents. And for what it's worth, massive, rapid hiring sprees never tend to work out well. As I mentioned before, when Border Patrol surged hiring under Bush, they struggled to hit their numbers and wound up hiring cartel members and an actual serial killer. And it's not a great sign for who ICE is appealing to, that they're currently posting gross recruitment ads like this fake minivan ad. And they're desperate already as they removed...
I am a sworn law enforcement officer, as well as responders to help secure I'm not saying on the 59-year-old star of the Dog Say Christmas Vacation, the Dog Say Halloween, the Dog Say Halloween, the Dog Say Easter, and the Dog Say maybe you are in trouble, although on the plus side, no need for that to wear a mask if anyone recognises I'm fucking sick. What can we do? Well, as powerless you've seen what a difference that makes.
Finally!
And if you approach
That is
immigration
ass.
enforcement while out in public, whether or not you're a citizen.
Dude, that took me like
the
an
only things you
hour,
should say to
dude.
them
That
are,
was so
am I free to
crazy.
leave?
This
And I
guy
want
is-
to speak to a lawyer. That's it. You have the right to remain silent. And I recognise in some cases you may be unable to help yourself from saying, didn't you used to be Superman? I thought you died. I can't believe I'm meeting a filmmaker. But that really is it.
This
For more
boss,
specific information about your
been
content
working
may
on
be
this.
slightly different depending on where you are.
That
You
boss
can
I've
visit
been
this
working
address.
on
While I know
for
this is all
like the past
very
hour.
good,
Since
it's
I
worth
started
remembering
playing
that
this
supporting
game.
immigrants is actually the majority stance in this country. And people witnessing the
that's
brutal reality
fine,
of these raids
that's,
has had an impact. Trump's approval on immigration has dropped sharply in the last few months, 55%, now disapproving of what he's doing. Meanwhile, support for Pathway to Citizenship for long-term undocumented immigrants has climbed to nearly 80%. Don't get me wrong, we are still in a very grim moment. But the right-wing narrative is that most people are rabid to punish anyone trying to become new Americans, but that is just not true. Nor are there bullshit claims about who's being targeted and arrested. And I'm not saying that everything ICE is doing right now is illegal. What I'm saying is, it feels like it really should be. And we need to change that at our earliest opportunity. Because the fact is, despite this administration's claims, the majority of people they are sweeping up are not drug dealers, human traffickers, or violent criminals. Instead, they're ice cream vendors, immigrants who show up to court hearings, and even US citizens. Although I will give immigration enforcement agencies one thing. The way they seem to view themselves is sadly increasingly spot on. And that is violent, cruel, and hiding behind a fucking mask. We're actually going to start with our main story tonight, which concerns Trump's relationship with the press. He's always been antagonistic. And this week, we got yet another reminder when he was asked a perfectly reasonable question about reports that he planned to accept a luxury jet from Qatar.
When you say to people who you got luxury jet as a personal gift to you,
Well, a few of you would. Let me tell you, you should be embarrassed asking that question. They're giving us a free jet. It's not a gift to me, it's a gift to the Department of Defense. And you should know better, because you've been embarrassed enough, and so has your network. Your network is a disaster. ABC is a disaster.
That is pretty hostile, though I actually agree that ABC should be embarrassed, just not for that entirely legitimate question, but for the fact that as of taping, they still haven't renewed Dr. Odyssey for season 2. What the fuck are you doing, ABC? It's sexy ER on a boat. It's the pit with sharks. It's got, and I'm not even going to try and beat their tagline on this, big deck energy. In its pilot episode alone, it features a waterslide injury, someone overdosing on shrimp, and this. Are you not entertained? How is ABC when you show called The Rookie and Will Trent, despite being dyslexic, he's become a special agent in the Georgia Bureau of Investigation? What? Well, they haven't you the only show brave enough to answer the question, what if sick but boat? I shouldn't complain about the episodes. I shouldn't care that the show called and about a rookie is returning for its premise-defying 8th season. And I don't begrudge any audience members for sticking around to find out if their favourite characters will or won't Trent. All I'm saying is ABC's been on since 1997 and Dr. Hot Boat is still in limbo. You're great, ABC. Your network is a disaster. The problem is Trump clearly only are nice to them at the press by covering the things he says. Husband is, in his opinion, being me. Back in his first campaign, he attacked journalists constantly, calling Jake Tapper, Fake Tapper, Maggie Haberman, Maggot Hagerman, and Katie Tur, Little Katie, which compared to the others is just lazy. Little Katie sounds like a doll in the 1970s that was discontinued for giving children lead poisoning. But in his second term, Trump's administration has escalated those attacks on the press, from making it easy to subpoena journalist records, to detaining Harvard University students after he co-authored an op-ed in Gaza, to Trump calling for Republicans to defund NPR and PBS, calling them radical left monsters that so badly hurt our country. And in March, he even went to the DOJ to issue this chilling announcement.
I believe that CNN and MSDNC, who literally wrote 97.6% bad about me, are political arms of the Democrat Party. And in my opinion, they're really corrupt and they're illegal. What they do is illegal. And it has to stop. It has to be illegal.
Okay. What the press does has to be illegal. It's obviously extremely bad, but I also want to talk about that 97.6% real quick, because I'm genuinely surprised that he knew that made-up number would sound more authentic if he added a decimal point. A decimal just feels more like a real number, even if I tell you 20% of Taco Bell ground beef is actually horse, so there's no way the number's too round. But the I say 21.6% is horse, you'd be like, he wouldn't make up a number that specific. Now, to be clear, I wouldn't say either of those numbers, though, because we all know that the real number is significantly higher, but apparently, legally, I can't say that, so I won't. And unfortunately, even as Trump's aggression has gone up, some owners of press outlets have gotten more submissive. During Trump's first term, a lot of outlets positioned themselves as fierce watchdogs for truth. For instance, adopted the slogan, democracy dies in darkness. But this time, even before the election, it seemed noticeably gentle. The Post owner, Jeff Bezos, called the paper's important Kamala Harris. He also ordered that its op-ed page focus purely on the importance of personal liberties and free markets. Bezos has seemingly gone out of his way to cozy up to Trump with his company paying $50 million to launch the documentary on Melania, the most Amazon has ever spent on a documentary, and even standing behind Trump at his inauguration. And come on, that's not just bending the knee, that's bending both knees, arching your back and relaxing your